Man, I think it was 50-50, but, definitely probably in the second round. Um, but I was an anomaly, right? So at my size, 6'3", I never played point guard in college. So everybody knew I was a wing player, but undersized, probably considered a streaky shooter. So there was a lot of unknowns about me. They knew defensively I was a beast. I was a beast defensively. Yeah, one of my guys is they're reaching out to me. One of my guys. So with that being the case, it was very traditional. You know that,
Yep.
right? So if you were a certain height, you were a point guard. If you were this, you were a 2. If you did that, you were a 3. And threes even back then were anywhere from 6'6" to 6'10".
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, you had that type of flow. So I was just a player. And at that time, now players exist. Back then, if you weren't this, you weren't able to make it. So
Yep.
I just really honed in off season. I really wanted to dispel anything that anybody thought about me. Had a real good summer league with Indiana, but didn't make their team, which Donnie Walsh said, dang, we should have kept you. When I did sign with Indiana, he's like, we really made a mistake. We're sorry about that, but we are here now. But then ended up, I think I played with Jersey. Kerry Kittles was still on the team. He was the second year, so we played in summer league together. And then one scout just happened to be up there and is like, man, there's something about that kid. I just want to get him in the vet camp. He calls me up. His name is Ron Aker. He was a longtime scout for the Mavericks, and he's like, Strick, listen, we want to bring you in the vet camp. I asked him, I said, hey, do I have a legitimate shot to make this team? He said, yes. He said, we have a new ownership group. At that time, Don Carter sold the team to Ross Perot Jr. So nothing was set in stone. They had a new coach, new staff. They had 15 on their roster, so they were full. So I think Ross Perot Jr. had to eat like $1.2 million to keep me. So
wow.
I just went into that season and then that camp just saying, I'm going to hound Jason Kidd. I was very familiar with Jason. We played against each other in Vegas. I held him to like 5 points that game.
Wow.
And so with that, I knew I wasn't afraid of him. Everybody else in the league and all of them were scared of him. I wasn't. So we almost got into some fights and stuff because I like a horse on, like fly on horse.
Yep.
Manure, I don't want to curse on your platform.
Oh, you can. I don't care.
Yeah. On shit. so yeah. I just hounded him, and then what ended up being a benefit to me was there was a lot of injuries. So and Jimmy King was on that team. The guy named Tony Dumas.
I remember Tony Dumas. Yep.
Yeah, out of UMKC.
Yep.
Him, and then they had Jimmy Jackson. And
Mashburn.
He was a Kid, and Derek Harper, right?
That's right. Yep.
So all of these guys were there. So if you look at it, I probably didn't have a chance. But then injuries kicked in. So Jimmy was injured, Tony was injured. It was down to a few of us guards. So it was just me and Harp, right? And the first team was Jason and Jimmy and Mashburn. So they were trying to figure out, how we gonna make this work. And I said, man, I'll play the 2. You know what I mean? I said, I'll guard Jimmy. And they were like, I'll guard Jimmy. And so finally they let me guard him. And they realized, they're like, wait, this kid can handle his own, against a strong Jim Jackson, you know what I mean? And, perennial scorer, I held my own. And so that's what changed their mindset about me and just made me a player and not a traditional point guard, even though I did play the